Hey everybody, welcome to round 2 of the TerRon Open. My name is Kirby Snyder. You can find me on all social media platforms under Darkwing Disc. Alongside of me is Tyler Schrock. Tyler, how's it going, bud?
Doing good, yeah. Excited to see round 2 today, playing from the blue tees. I was your tournament director for this event and assisted by Jim Hansen, who will be making some cameos throughout our coverage today.
Yeah, thank you to you guys, and thank you to the sponsors of this event as well, Mando's Disc Golf, as well as MVP Discs. You see the guys on our card today, Brandon, myself, Todd, and
our leader is Jason Kenway. Yeah, yes. He had a red hot round 1. So both Todd and Jason are Fenwick locals, and also throwing quite a bit of kind of the traditional MVP plastic. Got a nice little crowd kind of following along with the lead card. Again, we pointed out at the end of last video, there's a great community kind of surrounding this event and this course. Quite a bit of work on some new tees. We're going to see quite a few of those new blue tees today. This is one of them.
Yeah, these longer tees are great. This hole 1 here is going to be kind of like a steep hyzer throw that you kind of want to hit the hill on the right side of the basket and skip over to it. Jason there was throwing a blue Vanguard. I think discing up, going to like a fairway driver is a pretty solid option here. You can really get that skip and get that movement on it.
Yeah, that line from release to landing looked really good for Brandon. Just that kind of controlled hyzer the entire way there. Yours is looking good, kind of finding that wider gap.
Yeah, that was the new drop from Discmania. I was super nervous out of the hand because I was like, I definitely juiced that a little harder than I meant to. Todd Todd throwing
a bit high through the gap there. Probably a gator, maybe a fairway driver as well. Todd, we'll see, he has kind of a unique form, kind of a one-step release. He has so many rounds here at Fenwick, and you can see just him scrambling there really effectively from kind of a tough angle.
Yeah, if you're ever at Fenwick early in the morning and there's already a car there that's beat you, it's probably Todd, and he's probably already on hole 6. So, yeah, so I'm kind of just on the backside getting a little uphill putt, and this is going to be kind of the theme of the day, is putting up or downhill. So.
Just enough to get over the rim there, but hey, a make's a make. There's going to be some scrambling putts here at Lake Fenwick for sure. We're playing the same pin positions you might have seen in round 1. There's some coverage there, but almost all these tee pads are going to add a little bit of a wrinkle to all these holes, just making the shots just a little bit harder. And Kenway able to scramble for a par there. Hole 1, kind of a short hole, but a bit of a small green that we're approaching. We're going to move over here to hole 2. We have a little bit more airspace on this one, kind of shooting up the hill.
Yeah, hole 2's probably about 340 feet it feels, maybe even a little longer than that. You see that tree on the left that Brandon just kind of hit? That is, you know, kind of the common miss. I think that guy likes to grab a lot of discs and kind of stop them from punching up the fairway there. I'm going to an instinct. This is like a little straight. Throwing it uphill does kind of you know, let it stable out a little nicely, which is good.
Yeah, those angles shaped up really nice. You want a little bit of turn and a little bit of fade, all kind of wrapped up in like 330 to 360 of flight, like you were saying. If you get both, you'll those are kind of shots that park. We'll see this one kind of fading out a bit early. Not too much work left, but still probably a little bit of a scramble, deep circle 2-putt, maybe even just a chip up from there.
Yeah, not a bad throw all in all. Todd's got enough power to make Fenwick, you know, make all the shots at Fenwick happen.
Yep.
But not a guy who's necessarily known for, you know, throwing long distances.
Yeah, only maybe about 4 or 5 shots on this layout will require kind of a full power rip. A little low on that shot. He's ripping a destroyer in decent position. Bit of kind of a scramble hyzer from Brandon.
It's kind of a touchy little approach back there. If you're too far on the left, it can really punch off or cut off a lot of your shots, and it's hard to kind of punch a hyzer up and through everything. Nice little spinny, tricky approach for Jason there.
And Todd from the fairway, he's throwing a JK ABR from this range. Again, a good putter thrower. We'll see him throwing quite a few approach discs as well at different points. Known for his throwing of the gator. Here's Brandon. That's a pretty clutch putt there. Kind of being up with the leaders there to snag that one. Super nice.
Yeah, it was a great hit. He knows where my drive is. He knows what the scores are, and you know, we're gonna kind of start to hit the point where it's like every stroke really matters. You're gonna be counting every single one going down the stretch. So,
Kirby, yeah, 2 for 2 on putting so far. Both kind of slightly uphill. Yeah, both kind of the whole cluster here of people at that kind of 9 and 10 range. So yeah, it'll be a battle.
Hole 3 here. Really a very, very tricky hole, borderline gimmicky, for being really honest about it. You know, there's a really small landing zone and a pretty steep hillside, so if you're not perfectly on the landing zone, you will just kind of kick off. And it looks like I was just, yeah, rolling out of bounds there. It looks like I was just right of the ideal, like, kind of flat space to land, and I feel like that's a pretty common result.
Yeah, for pro players even, this hole can certainly be a 2 or a 4. If you do get good ground play, sometimes you can get things to stick on that hillside safe. But yeah, the rollaway is always potential, even for really good shots. Sometimes you'll see the roll kick in.
I really appreciate the crew at Fenwick putting that little platform kind of bar down there. There is a couple of shots that once in a while will kind of stop and hit that, and that will save a few. So it's not much, but I do appreciate it. And, you know, when you get one that is saved by that railing, you're like, my guys, thank you.
So we've seen 2 kind of going a bit too straight and 2 kind of coming in a bit hyzer. And wow, hole number 3 is really kind of taking a toll here on the lead card. We're going to see several shots here. I believe 3 out of the 4 are going to be going to the drop zone here.
Yeah, as we mentioned during round 1's coverage, drop zone here it's pretty tough. I mean, we're sitting, what, 35, 40-ish feet away from the basket. It's uphill, and that, you know, the hill being right there with the rollaway potential being so extreme, it's hard to fully commit to throwing a putt here.
Yeah, it's a green with almost no width. So left or right really gets punished in a hurry there.
Even this approach shot from Brandon, you know, like he made that look super easy, but so much can go wrong there so fast.
All right, so it looks like we're going to be leaving hole 3 with 3 bogeys and a par for Brandon. So the par is good enough to pick up a stroke on the entire card here.
It's a big par, honestly. This hole's so fluky, so challenging. Yeah,
you'll see some of the amateur divisions actually sometimes having a bit more success. They bite off a little bit less off the tee shot and just play to kind of have a circle 2 to circle 3 kind of chip up to this basket. Going for it can be demanding, and at the same time, occasionally this basket will be even picked off with an ace for those that get a favorable skip. But regardless, some punishment was taken kind of across the card there. Moving us to hole 4.
Hole 4. Really straight, really short, uphill. As we mentioned before, the challenge of this hole is if you're not on the fairway and you're falling left or right, you can get punished really hard. I'm going back to that drop, and that's the action. Yeah, the ideal shot for sure.
Yeah, although it's only 160 feet, this severe uphill kind of is really touchy. We're seeing some shots that are kind of finishing across the basket. That will help kind of check it up. Usually on this hole.
Yeah, going a little long here too is also pretty beneficial because of that ivy and the tree behind there. They usually kind of catch it rather than let you hit and kind of roll away. So,
yeah. Seeing a pretty good grouping here. Brandon is farthest out at maybe 10 or 12 feet there.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, you can make quick work of this hole. Do have a little bit of an obstructed putt here. Again, Todd, we're going to mention it a few times probably on coverage, a Fenwick local, so knows these holes like the back of his hand.
Yeah. Very, it's unconventional now, but it's kind of like an old school style of disc golf. If you started disc golfing, you know, kind of in the early 2000s or late 90s, you know, everybody was playing like Todd. Everybody had very similar style and form to Todd. So it's cool. It's cool getting to play with him because, you know, when I first started, everybody was kind of like the way he plays now. So
yeah, on this course as well, we're going to see, we're going to stretch out a little bit. A lot of these tee pads are new, so we're going to see some kind of unique challenges. Here's hole number 5. Placed similar to the short, but we're elevated a little bit more and have a little bit more room to shape this kind of long, swinging, kind of hyzer shape. Brandon is pretty successful there. Does kind of unfortunately catch up late on that one, so he'll be in circle 2. What are you reaching for here on hole number 5?
This is a pretty well worked in MD4. I want to throw it on hyzer, and there's a tree in the middle that I'm really just trying to wrap around. And then ideally I'll be more left than that. That just kind of pushed a little too straight. So
probably in that 100-foot range left, maybe a little bit less. So
yeah, no problem, approach shot kind of thing. But I don't, at that point, you know, I'm not really thinking that the birdie is an option.
Jason looking pretty smooth. Or excuse me, yeah, Jason looking pretty smooth on this one.
Yeah, he's going back to that Vanguard, and he throws that really well. Great little skip-up play. I think that is the ideal line, is to kind of hit the ground a little earlier and then get that ground action up to the basket.
Yeah, it's a tough hole to park. I think everybody wants a look at this one now.
This is a destroyer out of Todd's hand. It looked like it was pretty new when he picked it, like when I saw him throwing it, and looks like he just got over on it a little too much.
Yeah, he's playing a little bit more of a flex line though, so he is out in circle 2, so we'll see what he has available to him here. It looks like you're actually lined up for an open look from distance.
Yeah, I wasn't, I mean, that was a very cool run, but in my mind, I was just really just trying to get that close to the basket.
For sure, for sure.
That's one of those, and I tell people a lot of this when I do lessons with them. It's like, hey man, just put it up in the air. You know, something cool might happen. You know, and if not, like you can't hurt yourself too bad by giving a nice and floaty shot. So,
wow, from a pretty obstructed stance there, we're gonna see the replay. Brandon's able to cash that one in. Yeah, he's had a decent start to the round and kind of a bonus birdie there on hole 5.
That was massive. He's very well aware of where the scores are. He knows that Jason and I are right there, and even Todd's still within shouting distance. So that was clutch. That was huge for him.
And Kenway, refusing to be big putt there, he cleans that one up. Yeah, he's hanging with you guys. A bit fewer years of experience for him, but he's standing pretty strong so far in a kind of a hard-fought battle here.
I think this is his first MPO tournament, actually.
Yeah, he's kind of been in that kind of zone between MA1, sometimes competing in MP40. He was actually waffling a bit between MP40 for the tournament or MPO. So yeah, certainly a strong start. One of the locals that I'll be cheering for, along with Todd as well.
Yeah, I've known Jason for a long time. He's good people for sure. He's done a lot of he's helped out a lot at Fenwick, and he's done a lot of work on the course. So we love.
You love to see it.
Doers like that, for sure. Nice,
all right.
Nice shot out of Brandon on hole 6 here. Hole 6 is, I think, one of the more creative holes on the course. I really like the boat aspect of it. And if the pin is in the boat, you know, the boat plays as an island where everything's out of bounds. And if the pin is long like it is, everything inside of that island is OB. I think that's a great little change. I think that adds a lot of variety to the course.
Yeah, at 290, this kind of opens up a variety of options. You can throw this kind of swinging hyzer shot. There's kind of a mid-range shot straight at it. And yeah, that island can sneak in, as there are some kind of blocking trees about 60% of the way down the fairway.
There is a Mando here to kind of keep you on the right side, so you can't just like throw like a forehand up on that left there. So this is just a good hole. It's kind of like a Fenwick special.
Yeah. Whatever shot you like to throw 300 feet, probably there's some options for you to get there. We are a bit obstructed. You'll see kind of this bush that's kind of short of the basket. Jason is able, I believe, to sneak through that bush and cash it. So kind of first really big putt for him so far in the round to keep pace.
That was awesome, yeah. Brandon just kind of bleeding out a little bit right.
Yeah, kind of a 50-50 putt there. It seemed like that's one that maybe could have stuck, but yeah, could certainly get in the middle. Oof. Similar story for Todd, a bit low, probably also obstructed on his, and wow, this green has given some obstructed putts for everybody here. Yeah,
that was great. Yeah, that was this is a good example of you don't have to have your foot directly behind your disc. You have to have it within the sheet of paper behind your disc.
Yeah.
So I was definitely using the left side of that sheet of paper to inch as far as I could to get around that tree and give myself that opportunity.
Pro tip for those that play a lot of tournaments, knowing your shapes is super helpful.
Hole 7 here. I think this was the hardest hole, played the hardest hole for the day. This long pad is new and super brutal. It can just be kind of like a long running hyzer shot if you hit the gap cleanly. Hitting the gap cleanly is extremely difficult. I'm going to a PD. This was a little lower than I meant out of the hand, wow. And yeah, I just got clean the whole way.
Yeah, so you might recall this hole from our first round coverage. You can kind of still see that stump in that original fairway. If you kind of clear that stump, there is a bit of airspace, but again, this hole is super demanding, lots of distance, and I'll say maybe the last 30-40% of the hole does play a bit downhill, so the distance isn't necessarily the challenge. It's kind of keeping that shot shape and keeping it straight through all these trees.
Yeah, I think Brandon had an amazing drive there. I think that's the space that I think the spot that you want to be, so you can attack easy for par. And if you go there and the basket's short, you're getting birdies. So I think it's a really, really good play, really good shot from him. Jason throwing a big turnover.
That's pretty he's close. In the neighborhood. Okay, yeah. He's got all the way to circle 1. I was going to say just towards circle 2 there. And here we have Todd, I believe, throwing from the drop zone.
Yeah. Finding that gap, that slow turning disc.
So he's probably in that maybe circle 2 range. Yeah, just a bit deep in the basket there. Yeah, we adjusted kind of the Mando in the drop zone there for this hole to try to make it kind of fair and reasonable. We did have some people able to get up and down from that drop zone to kind of save some strokes for those that landed on hole 6's island.
I see, yeah. It's a tough drop zone. Oh my goodness.
My goodness, yeah. Say a little bit about that shot there from Todd.
Yeah, I mean, from the drop zone, oh my god, he's so good. I can't even believe this. Just throws that, like, nose-up spinner just dead into the heart of the basket. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think Todd kind of lives and dies by playing aggressive. I haven't seen him have any breaks on his play. And similarly, again, Jason is just refusing to be big putt, stepping up and making a really nice one there to save bogey. And bogey, honestly, is not losing a stroke to too many. I say that you have a look for the 2 here.
Yeah, this is I had to get on a knee and a little obstruction in the way, but honestly, I was pretty happy to even get the opportunity. Shout out Justin Banks, catch cam over on the side over there.
Yeah, cool to see the 2-camera coverage here on fairway. Again, you can get a subscription to the YouTube channel here for, I believe it's just $1 a month, and get some early access. That enables them to come and cover more tournaments and improve the quality all the time. So yeah. Huge shout out. Yeah, like and subscribe.
Yeah, us players love having Justin Banks out there. So I'm going back to that PD, hole 8 here, 400 feet. This is the longest hole in the course, and
ooh, boy,
probably my best drive of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Slightly different tee, slightly different angle than the prior round. But yeah, as we're seeing here, a shot that kind of flexes, that has some speed, will give the most looks. Brandon just drying up a little early, maybe a little low out of the hand. But yeah, a bit of a rip. You see some stakes down the right side. There is out of bounds the entire length of this hole as well.
Yeah, the uphill on this hole definitely adds to the challenge of it. I love this basket. I think the green that surrounds the basket is absolutely beautiful. And you know, if you're set up in the right position, it really like opens it up to having some really, really incredible putts. Todd looks like he's just going to get over on this a little too much. And this is where that OB on the right side kind of comes into play, because you want to be aggressive, you want to flex the disc out, but a miss like that is very plausible.
Yeah, I provided a drop zone on this hole just for any to give players some options there. Wow, Todd course corrects really quickly. I think that might be one of the first appearances of his gator. If he's in range, that's a disc that I know he reaches for all the time. Here's Jason from distance.
What a run.
Yeah. I'm not surprised at all that he was able to make easy work of round 1. His game is really still firing here, about halfway into round 2 as well. Brandon from distance as well.
Nice and floaty. That's Brandon's putt. His putt is nice and floaty, where even if he's missing, he's really not missing by a lot or hurting himself.
Great birdie. Getting that one parked is an accomplishment. I think most players kind of just want to look. But yeah, if you get a good full flex on it, yeah, it's one that it feels good to put it close.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, I think if Fenwick had a couple more holes that were like hole 8 and they were a little longer where you had to open up, I think Fenwick could be like a top 5 course in all of Washington. It's just, there's so many different varieties of shots. The place is special.
Yeah. Fun one. Yeah, speaking of kind of a special shot, we're looking into the sun a little bit, but Hole 9 is one of the few blue tees that I think actually plays a bit easier than its shorter red tee. So we're looking about 330 feet, almost dead straight, kind of playing over this valley. And most players are going to opt for either a mid-range or something that flies straight.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, and we got a cool catch cam here. It looks like your shot hit kind of one of the Guardian kind of fence posts, and it looks like you're, what, maybe 20 feet away?
Yeah, 20, 25. That's cool seeing that from that angle. I wasn't sure exactly how that would look on the camera. That's awesome.
Yeah.
This hole's really, really beautiful. Throwing through this little valley down here is really awesome. A lot of players are throwing, slow fairway drivers to mid ranges because the distance isn't really the issue, especially with that big gully down there. Great shot from Jason as well. I think that's Jason's throwing a wraith there, just to kind of punch through enough.
Yeah. Kind of looking down, you can see the green of hole 10 that's kind of down below us, or excuse me, hole 11 that's kind of down below us there. Todd kind of getting caught up in the ceiling a little bit. That's kind of a common result. This is in range here. We might see him throwing maybe an AVR, maybe a gator here. There is no layup in his game plan at all.
Yeah,
he liked it. Yeah, sticks to about 10, maybe 15 feet. Brandon a bit obstructed here from the corner. No, he has a relatively open look down.
Nice soft run. Yeah, really close. Yeah, when Jason and I walked up to our lives, we weren't sure which one of us was actually going to be closer or not. We weren't sure if missing those fences was going to be a better result than hitting them, because he was worried that he might have hyzered out and just kind of like found the path, which can then definitely happen a little too quick. So
yep, a nice make. Yeah, you can putt kind of. I've had putts around, over, or even under those fences, depending on where you land. But yeah, you progress just past it, so well inside the circle there. And we'll have some par cleanups coming here as well in hole number 9. So Kirby, at this point, you're sitting 2 strokes ahead as we enter the back 9. Were you peeping scores at this time? Were you kind of concerned about anything, or were you kind of more just focused on the shot ahead of you?
I'm like painfully aware of scores at this point. Okay. I knew after like the end of round 1, like I was pretty much like, once I saw the scores, it was like I can't close that bottle again. I loved this drive, real quick. Like out of the hand, I was like, dude, you did it. That's so good. And then just kind of shows how difficult this hole is, where even if you throw a good drive, you're still probably going to hit something and be scrambling to get up to the basket.
So yeah, this hole is challenging from the red tees, and we're pushed another 30, 35 feet back here from the blue tees. So again, we can kind of see there's a gap off to the left that is a little bit more direct to the basket. There's a little bit of a bailout right. So we're seeing kind of everybody fly down this left side. And it looks like there's going to be some scrambling from at least 3 out of the 4 players. We'll see if Todd can kind of correct from what the group has done so far.
I think this is such a tough hole. Just the little change in the tee pad going back there does cut off that angle so much more. Todd, I think that's a good result all in all. I think that's the miss you want to take, is try to bleed it too far right and then still be not looking up at the basket, but being able to throw across to it. Going back to scores though, I was very well aware of where everybody was shooting at that point. After round 1 and I knew the scores, I was like, hey, we're just gonna follow this along. Which does put extra pressure, on all of these shots, going forward. Because we are kind of in that final stretch, and you can lose 2 strokes on any of these holes.
Yeah, both you and Brandon catching a few leaves, really getting really scrappy with your scrambling, and Todd, does this one stay up there? Yeah, we're seeing 3 really high-level scrambles there. I feel like those are all 1,000+ rated shots to just get a look from kind of partway down the fairway here. Brandon kind of down in the bowl, it looks like. Excuse me, Jason kind of down in the bowl here for his scramble. Wow, another great scramble, so... Looks like the card might mostly avoid some damage, but a few putts left here, so let these play out.
I mean, this hole is just like so hard. I mean, anybody that pars this is just like an amazing player, and you really can't be upset at any bogeys, No, look, a bogey.
Oh, unfortunately, yeah. Wasn't with this group here. I was kind of following along from the chase card there. Kind of the longest putt of the group, and yeah, it's certainly not a gimme there.
I mean, the hole is just like so difficult, Great par from Brandon. Same I think Jason's like right underneath the basket as well. So this just kind of goes into the battle. Like this was like we were saying jokingly, but this is one of the more challenging holes in the course. So those guys being able to walk away clean with a par is that's a great score.
Yeah, I don't believe there were any birdies on day 2. On day 1, though, a quick shout out to the assistant tournament director, Jim Hansen, got the 2 on that hole, and also Terry Reich, so Pirate, one of the hole designers, he was able to pick up the birdies that was the only birdies from the red tee on day 1 from that hole.
That's huge. That's such a good shot. I can't believe it. I think Jim just said, didn't Jim just say like, oh, I just hit my gap? It's like, whatever, dude. You know, like that's so crazy.
Nearly parked on that one.
Yeah.
Here on hole 11, yeah, we're looking kind of up the hill. Again, also trying to wrap around this big tree. I would say another one where it is a little bit more of a distance ask than the short, but one you want to definitely get a look at here. We saw Jason kind of blow past it. Brandon kind of getting caught up on the big tree. He'll still have a putt from probably edge of circle.
Yeah, that was a great looking drive from Brandon. Todd, I think he's probably going to a destroyer, and I think he's trying to get that like flexing on the right side of the tree and then to hyzer back. Great shot from him. I think that's probably the ideal line from the back position. I don't really have that shot necessarily shaped like set up for me in the bag, so I'm just going to like an MD1, and I'm kind of hoping that I kind of flip either side of that tree, and I caught the middle of it. So
yeah, you'll have a look. It looks like maybe from the 40-foot range, 45?
Yeah, a little longer than I'd like, but yeah, no, it fell in a good position where I'm not directly behind that tree as well.
Just came out a bit right as you're looking kind of at that uphill stance.
And then Brandon's a couple steps ahead of me. He's probably in the 30-ish, maybe 35-ish kind of foot mark, so great putt.
Yeah, buttery smooth. Again, his putt, I feel like it's the same putt from 20 or 100.
Yeah.
Just kind of has that float, just kind of slowly dropping.
Nice and flat. Yeah. So when he makes that, I kind of know, like, hey, like, game's on. You know, score's tied. I think Jason's pretty close, too. So, you know, we're 11 holes in, and it's still, like, anybody's ball game.
Again, yeah, Jason just refuses to kind of give up anything here. He's hanging right with you all. Worth noting as well, I think we mentioned it in the first video, as Todd lines up his putt here for birdie. Brandon is kind of the 2-time and defending TerRon Open champion, and you also have won one as well. So quite a bit of experience on this course in tournament play, and y'all are kind of keeping a pretty solid pace up here as the leaders of the event so far.
Yeah, Brandon's super comfortable here. It's a course that he plays really well. I think the course plays well to his game as well because he throws so smooth and he throws so straight and so crisp. So hole 12 here, really, really short. You see that metal pole there. You're trying to basically just beat that metal pole, and basket's going to be on the left up on the hill. That roll down is going to be a really, really common result. You hate to see it, but it's so touchy on that green.
Yeah, from this blue tee, I feel like it's actually a bit more fair because you get to progress the fairway straight a little bit more. The red tee is very sawed off. This blue tee kind of encourages a little bit more of a straight pull. We'll see if this one kind of yields a look here. Sometimes these late ferns can be your absolute best friend. So Brandon's able to catch one and give himself a look from about 15, 18 feet.
This is this in my mind is like a tailor-made shot for Brandon. He throws it so well. Believe it or not, Todd's throwing a destroyer here.
Yeah, I know some players locally, they feel like actually just sending it at the basket and kind of accepting the result will yield better than trying to really slow things down. They almost are trying to hit something on the green.
Yeah, this is a shot I do not feel comfortable with whatsoever. I feel like historically I've played this hole really poorly. So I'm going to a P2. When it came out of my hand, I actually thought I was going to hit that kind of bendy tree. And so yeah, me getting up there, like when I walk up the fairway and I see where my disc is, that felt like a huge bonus.
Yeah, on your shot, I think you successfully threw the 230-foot shot on a 260-foot hole and just kind of dried it up. Wasn't really any room for anywhere else for it to go other than just to stop pretty close to the pin. So Todd's in a similar spot to where I found myself round one, so kind of a tough cross putt, comebacker.
Great hit.
Yeah, great touch on that putt. One kind of a little bit of a bonus make on a tough hole. So threw the fast shot and was able to get it to stick.
Brandon, pretty close. That uphill putt can be kind of touchy because you know if you just you miss it all, you're not just dropping, you're dropping and you're rolling pretty far down. So that's going to turn your birdie into a bogey so quick. So even from where I am, I want to say I'm probably only like 12 feet or so. And it's just nervy, you know, you can't get too comfortable.
Yeah, coming down the stretch as well. Yeah, we had a few chargers kind of coming from the chase card and even the third card. Maybe not putting a move on first place, but certainly looking for potential podium spots or top fives here. Yeah, bringing us into hole 13 here. Kind of a downhill hole. Again, a bit similar to hole 12. The blue pad just adds another 30, 40 feet to the tee shot. Yeah. Placed quite a bit shorter than what the distance says on the sign there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love this hole. I think there's two different routes you can play. You can kind of play down the right side and kind of down the big part of the fairway, or you can throw kind of like a straight to moderately overstable putter or mid maybe, and find a gap in the trees. When you hit the gap in the trees and you're kind of heading towards the basket, it's an amazing feeling. I'm going back to that P2. This is kind of my go-to thrower. You can see the tee pad's 20 feet longer than hole 1, so pretty much a similar shot. I am hitting that gap that I made before really well and just catching a little bit of late leafage.
Yeah, settles you down again right in that like 10, 15 foot range. Not a gimme, but it's pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, with that hill behind it too, you know, crashing into it or just kind of having something fall there, it's really not bad at all. Jason getting through pretty much clean. He went a little long, wow.
Yeah, I would say somewhat of a common result. Going straight isn't a huge issue, but you can quickly almost pick up speed as you're traveling downhill and outdistance it even with a putter.
Oh, bad result.
Yeah, Todd was in a kind of a tough angle there. It looked like he was kind of running pretty hard at it. We'll see what he can do from edge of circle there. He'll kind of quickly have a tap-in bogey on this one. Yeah, hole 13, I would say, between the slope, some of the late trees, some of the late angles, it can really pinch quite a few shots off that might otherwise get through.
It's a good run from Jason. I think the challenge of hole 13 is more in the putting green than it is off the tee, because the tee shot's not the most demanding. It is a small gap, yes, but it's not too bad, where this putting green has so many obstacles in the way.
The last 20% can really make the difference between kind of what you're looking at here, maybe a 20-footer, and maybe being as much as 100 feet out on your rollaways or your kicks.
Yeah. Here I am for 12 feet, 15 feet maybe, to take a stroke over Brandon and 2 strokes over Jason. So, yeah, like I said, I love this hole. I think this hole's great.
All right, we're entering our home stretch here a little bit. We'll see a few of these holes stretch out a bit. I would say we're getting to kind of my favorite stretch of the course, where the blue tees really add a wrinkle on almost every one of these here. So on to hole 14.
Yeah, hole 14, a lot of people commonly refer to this as the bowl hole. The basket's going to be on the backside of the hole, kind of up on an elevated platform. This is a hole that I don't have a good feel for, so I'm going for like an exo soft notion, and I'm going to try to like pipe it through the gap and just have it kind of flip up. This is the best result I've ever gotten out of that shot.
Yeah, you'll kind of see this off to, now it'll be the left side of the screen. There's kind of a steep slope, and almost playing a shot into that slope can be beneficial. It'll almost always roll you back out. So Brandon, I would say, is taking a little bit more of a traditional line here. We'll see if this slope kind of rewards him. And I will say I was not on this card, so I didn't know the result, but yeah, you often see that kind of rebound off of it. So he'll have a look kind of the bottom of the hill looking up at the basket.
Yeah, you can see me over on the right there. I am looking at scores. I am trying to be very cognizant of where everybody is. I will say it's not going to change my play and change the way I attack things, but just knowing where people are, I think, is really beneficial. Jason taking another really good route. I think that is the better, more consistent line, I think.
Yeah. So Todd kind of coming down the right side. Yeah, he does get caught up there. Not overly punishing. He's a very good putter thrower, and will sometimes even toss some of these in. So we'll see what he's able to do kind of down the fairway. All right, he's reaching for the forehand shot to try to punch it into the corner. And that one got away from him a little bit. It looked like that kind of faded out to the right. So he'll be kind of looking back at the basket. You can see me on the chase card kind of setting up on the next hole.
Yeah, I think it was right before this, Todd and I were kind of chatting, and he's like, well, might as well try to throw a couple of them in and, you know, make some cool highlights. So, nice putt.
Hey, yeah, we'll take it. A little bit of a cameo. I was kind of starting the day bottom of the chase card, and we'll see where I kind of end up on the day. I was having a decent round on my own. No pressure on the leaders, but at least regaining a few spots there. There's Todd. He's able to kind of just chip up to the plateau there, so he'll be tapping in at bogey. Brandon with a look from maybe 25 feet.
Yeah, nice way to trickle it in. That was a sketchy putt, and he knows where the scores are as well. He sees me, you know, just kind of right behind the basket there, parked for birdie. So he knows that's a must-make shot right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lots of touchy putts kind of across the screen if you're not completely on the plateau.
Nice Kenway.
Nice make from Kenway.
Yeah. He's keeping pace so well.
100%.
Yeah, he showed a lot of heart and, you know, showed that he's a great player. I mean, he showed that he's ready to step into the MPO field, so.
Yeah, we're going to round the corner here in just a moment and kind of head back towards, I'll call them the peanut gallery, the onlookers. There were a few beers being handed out in the parking lot. Yeah, we might be starting to hear some noise from them even here in the next couple holes as we get back closer to the final holes of this round. Really a tight race.
Yeah, all those guys were so great. It was really cool hearing them throughout. What's up, Banksy? Catch Cam Pro?
Yeah,
Catch Cam King.
Yeah, shout out to Justin and shout out to all the camera work and all the work that was done to kind of put this coverage together.
Yeah, thank you to Christian Wolf as well. He was behind us. Christian was cool, chatting with him. I said this last, man, I gotta start getting in the gym. Look at that belly, dude. It's not attractive.
We're relaxed. We're ready to execute. Yeah. Hole 15 here. This is probably one of my favorite shots on the course. We're pushed back here on this blue tee to make this double mando pinch a little bit. Really just a line drive up the hill. What are you throwing here?
I'm going to an instinct. This one's a little flippy, and that tree that I hit there is the... It's the pick a side tree. You know, you really just that's the biggest obstacle of this hole, I think. Being pushed back, you know, it definitely puts the double mando a little more in your mind. But Brandon, going back to that leopard 3,
nice hyzer flip.
God, he throws that so well.
Yeah, yielding maybe an edge of circle putt, a bit where you just kind of saw me putting from as we were seeing that previous hole there.
It's a tough putt from down there. You are putting uphill. I mean, you have the backstop, sure, but. It's nervy, especially now. Like, you know, like there's so much kind of going into every shot. You know, down the stretch, like he knows that like if he makes this putt, that could be the difference between him going to a playoff or him taking the win. So Todd's missing the mando. That's
yeah, tough result.
Tough. Yeah.
Looks like a little bit of a misfire there. That kind of came up kind of early left. He's going to be throwing from the drop zone here, probably about 200, maybe 220 left to the basket.
Hook up.
Oh, unbelievable.
What an amazing shot. Hopefully we get to see a replay here. Todd, I know, reaches for a gator on quite a few of these shots, kind of his hallmark shot. Let's see it again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was his DX gator. And it was like I was saying last hole, you know, Todd kind of hit a point where he's like, we might as well try to throw some stuff in and make some highlights. And like, there's a huge highlight to make. That was so cool.
I've only seen Todd play with one speed there. Oh, wow, that's an old bar stamp in of a gator there. So
PFN.
Great shot, man.
Before any of our watchers look, yeah, we'll bug him about the glow tape after the round. But
it was a
beautiful shot.
It was a rope.
That's about as excited as Todd gets. That half a smile is elation.
Yeah, that was a huge smile for him. That's funny. This is probably one of my for this second round. This is probably the most technical shot that I'm going to throw all day. This is a P2. That tree was perfectly in my way where I did have to throw this P2 with just a touch of anhyzer to let it flatten out on that hillside. I know where Brandon is. I know where Jason is. And really what I'm trying to do is put the pressure on them that they have to make those putts because they know I'm close enough to clean up. So.
Yeah, this green does have some ivy that'll catch, so you can putt kind of firmly as you go up to it if you'd like to. Roll away is just a little less prevalent. I want to make sure I'm not jinxing anybody as we see it, but All right, looks like we're going to be cleaning up some pars. Todd with the big kind of celebratory par, actually able to get it from the drop zone. So doesn't lose a stroke despite missing the Mando there.
Yeah, that was huge for Todd. I honestly, before I went and putted that, I went over to Todd to give him another fist bump to tell him, I was like, you're an animal, man. Like, that was so cool.
So once again, hole after hole, there's kind of this grouping. So Kirby, who's joining me here, Brandon and Jason all really fighting for that top spot, and Todd kind of down at the cash line. So he's still holding pretty strong despite some ups and downs. On to hole number 16.
Yes, hole 16, 370 feet. We're at the higher up tee pad here for the Blues. Beautiful shot. This is a absolutely gorgeous tunnel with the way the sun's coming through and all that. You want to get the disc moving left to right and then to kind of fade out at the end, kind of like Brandon's is doing here. He's probably 80 feet short or so. I threw an MD4. I turned it over a little too much. That was kind of the miss that I was planning on, though. Kind of put myself out on the right and maybe still have like kind of a more open look to it.
Yeah, we are tucked into the corner here, and really any shot that progresses, even if you miss a bit to the right, you just want to have an open look at the basket. You'll occasionally see a shot get clipped by some of these early gaps here, and you can really just be in jail and scrambling for a 4 really quickly.
Yeah, it's really, really demanding line. There's a lot of stuff like that that can kind of get in your way. I really think the most important thing off of this tee is that you just get maybe 180 feet to 200 feet. You kind of see that log on the right side of your screen. If you can kind of get up by there, it's a lot easier to make it up and down for par. If you hit one of those earlier trees and you're kind of where Todd is, like it's tough. You're scrambling for sure.
He's forced to an overhand. He gets a little bit of a rollout. I think he'll be maybe edge of circle looking at this basket there. And again, there's a little bit of an intersection of fairways here. I'm trying to finish with the flourish there. I had a kind of a skip away on hole 18. And we're getting to see the replay of me not making that one. So, yeah, had a little bit of a bounce back this round. We'll see where kind of the final results shake out. But a few shots here left for our leaders.
Over there. That's fine.
I love Jason. He just starts laughing as soon as that comes out of his hand.
Yeah, he had a bit of an awkward stance. It looks like he'll have maybe 20, 25 left. Here's you from kind of deep circle 2.
There was a second there when that came out of my hand that I legitimately thought I was going to make that, and I cannot explain to you why I was such a fool, because there was nowhere even near it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the, I'll say, softer green areas that has kind of more of a tendency to catch than many others. We're seeing some scrambling here on hole 16, not unusual at all.
Todd's going for it again. He's just trying to make everything at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Touchy putt here from Kenway.
Not a bad result. I mean, definitely not the approach shot that he meant to throw. And this is where that kind of like late round, like there's a lot of pressure on. Like it's those like little misses like that are gonna get, they're just gonna get more exaggerated, and they're gonna be easier to find.
Yeah, yeah. So we have Todd coming back here. And he's leaving a stroke on the green. I would say Todd is usually a pretty good putter. Occasionally, though, his aggressiveness does bite him a little bit, so it gets him here on hole 16. And kind of an unfortunate bogey for Jason. He's played very clean, but leaving a little bit of a space here with kind of 2 holes left between himself and you and Brandon, who are really battling this one out.
Yeah, it was, I think it was at this point that, you know, Jason's still in it, but Brandon and I are now kind of just starting to turn at each other and say, you know, this is us, man, let's do this. Hole 17 here, this is a very, very tight tee shot. There's a Mando right, there's a Mando left. You just gotta snake through all those trees there. I threw a drop, and honestly, I missed a little early, but just kind of got lucky enough to get through everything. Brandon
makes the Mandos, it looks like.
Yeah, he hit the tree that you are trying to beat, basically. It really doesn't matter if you beat that tree left or right. I think Brandon was throwing a Star Eagle there, which he was throwing a lot throughout the day as well.
Yeah, I think all players are really trying to just progress this fairway about as far as they can. From the looks of yours, Kirby, you're going to kind of be in the driver's seat on this hole. It looks like you're up by the log, really just having a putt or kind of a little chip at the basket. Other players here are really trying to push it and push the envelope here.
Todd's throwing a destroyer again.
Wow, Todd is kind of getting to the backside of the green there. We'll see what he has kind of for a comeback putt.
That was awesome.
Oh, yeah, Kenway is at a really tough angle there, really forced to kind of swing a shot and gets caught up. So he'll have a bit of an approach left to try to save his bogey.
Yeah. So this is Brandon, you know, putting the disc at a point, that's an amazing shot. With that, though, that is, like, him saying, hey, Kirby, like, you have to make this putt.
He has a par in his back pocket.
Yes.
If you want any space, you're going to be kind of forced to make a challenging putt. And Kenway with a really, really good touch there. So he saves that bogey. Again, trying to secure that spot in the top 3 here.
Nice run from Todd.
Ooh, yeah. Again, Todd's aggressiveness, he lives and dies by it there. He almost kind of picked up a bonus stroke.
Yeah. Going into this putt, I told myself, I said, if you make this, you don't have to putt on 18, and I really don't want to have to putt on 18.
Forced to kind of go high out of your hand, then drop.
A lot of pressure, and honestly, watching this now on camera, that's closer than I thought it was out of my hand in person. I thought I missed by a lot. That was a lot closer than I thought. So,
yeah. I've been in that similar position to you, and you'd almost prefer to be maybe 5 or so feet away, so you have a bit more room to kind of loft it and let it actually fly. It's a tough putt to shape and just barely clear that kind of miniature hedge.
Yeah, a couple extra feet either way, honestly. I think if I'm a couple feet left, that putt also is a lot more open and a lot easier. So
looks like par cleanups, and that unfortunate bogey for Jason. He did do some nice scrambling, though, despite kind of connecting with a couple trees midway through. So hole 18, it kind of all comes down to this. You and Brandon just have 1 stroke separating you here. And yeah, there's stroke potential on 18. This kind of sawed-off hyzer shot.
Yeah, I'm going back to that drop, and I overthrew it a little bit. I remember as Brandon's setting up to throw, I'm looking at you and Jedi in the parking lot, and you guys are both just kind of giving me like a
I think somebody gave you like a X or a thumbs down.
Jedi
did. A tough spot.
Yeah, Jedi's like, you suck. Yeah, I know, and Brandon to throw such a good drive there.
Brandon's parked.
Yeah.
He's almost assured of the 2. Not the easiest putt, but you want to be close on this one.
For sure. And here in the peanut gallery, off the tee, and when the peanut gallery, I call them the peanut, when the guys out there start to cheer at Brandon's throw, like I knew, like, hey, like he's really close, and
could be looking at a playoff, could be looking at
something has to happen.
There.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, we've got a crew. I've finished my round. I'm already enjoying a Rainier. We have quite a few people that are sticking around. Yeah, thanks to everybody that came out, takes care of the course, and is really making an event like this possible. Here's Kenway to finish on a high note for about 25 feet, shooting way up at it. Kind of a tough go. Regardless of where you're at on this hole, this basket is not easy to putt on, even from a relatively close range.
That's such a good run, though.
Yeah, a good look, just a touch high. Yeah. And Kirby, this will be for the win.
Yeah, it was very, very much in my mind that I knew that this was for the win. I kept telling myself right here, just throw it high and throw it hard.
Seems like you knew it.
Yeah, out of the hand as soon as it came out, I was feeling super confident.
So, we've got some great angles here. Again, thanks to Fairway Media for covering this event. It's always fun to see. Kirby really with a strong performance the whole way around. Congratulations on taking this one home. We're going to see kind of the rest of the card putt out here to finish up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you to Mandos and yourself and everybody for running the event. Thank you to all the Fenwick crew. Those guys are amazing and have done so much for that course and for that park. Congratulations to Brandon as well. It was awesome battling with him. Him and Jason really like pushed me the whole day where it kept it really fun and it kept it really entertaining, and every shot had pressure on it. So
yeah, absolutely. So as we finish up, again, congratulations to Kirby, our winner.
We have a group here, and thanks for Justin for coming out and filming. Really quick, let's congratulate one more time Kirby Snyder on the win.
Go Kirby! Go Kirby!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Tyler Schrock for hosting all of this. Thank you to Jim Hansen. Thank you to the whole Fenwick crew. This place has never looked better. Thank you to Mandos. Thank you to my sponsors, Emerald City Discs, Discmania, Cravo Organics, Buzz's Hand Dip Dyes. Thank you to all of you.
Yeah. Awesome. Go Kirby!
Shout out to everybody that lent a hand, carried a box, was just generally here for a good time as well. We appreciate you all. Really quick thanks to Ron as well as Terry and everybody who has lent a hand to clean up the course, help out in any way over these last couple years. We know we have some new tee pads out here. And also thanks to Justin with Fairway Media for bringing the coverage.
Justin!
Woo!
Yeah, big thank you to Justin with Fairway Media for being out here. Appreciate you having Tyler and I here doing commentary with you.
Yeah, of course. As you'll see, our winner Kirby here with a 10:38 in the final round, and Brandon taking a 10:28 to wrap it up. Yeah, some great golf this weekend. It's been fun to see this event grow. Again, if you haven't already, you can look back at the first TerRon Open. There's some coverage back from, I believe, 2020 when we first ran this event, so you can look back. We're going to see some highlights here. Yeah, that'll wrap it up from our side here on the coverage. Thanks so much for following. Again, we want to appreciate the sponsors of this event, MVP, as well as Mando's Disc Golf Pro Shop, and Mastercraft Electric as well, who also helped kind of brought this event together. Thanks to Fairway Media for coming out and covering. And I'll hand it over to our champion here to kind of take us out.
Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, once again, thank you, Justin Banks and Fairway Media. And thank you all for watching. For the low, low price of $1 a month, you can be a subscriber.
Yeah,
Member subscriber. Get that exclusive content. See you later.
Woo! Thank you, guys. Killing it. My voice hasn't spoken.
What's up, Billy?